to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would you all please make sure that your cell phones are either turned off or on silent for me? Got everybody? Thank you. Is everybody that put down that they were speaking tonight with a teacher or something that a teacher asked you to come to? Okay, no one's responding except for Joey Decker. All right, I guess we'll get started then with presentations. Mrs. Zach?
So Mrs. Zach and Joey Decker, Leroy Warner, Liz Crowler, and Hayden Jones went with other seniors on the whitewater rafting trip this past weekend. They had a great day and they're going to tell you about it. Come on overhead. And they probably got wet too. There, right.
Hiding behind the door. You're good. You're doing great. Okay. So this time, instead of presenting with a slideshow, I wanted to present with a video so you guys could also see some things that were happening on our experiences whitewater rafting. So I'm going to show the video and I'm also going to be talking over it. It's 3.5 minutes. So let's see if I can do that. Ready? It's very loud. I'm going to share that a little bit. Teamwork is a huge part of this field trip. Students need to work together in paddling, communicate, and also ensure that they are working together in order to be successful. In this video here, you can see students were actually surfing back into the rapids. The rapids were perfect for us to be able to go through and actually go back in and try it again from the other side for us. Leadership and development. So when we got there, students were given a safety tutorial, helmets, life vests, paddles, and what to do with your paddle, what to do if you fall into the water, how to help someone if they are in the water to get them back into the boat. Students also had the experience of jumping off into the water. Students experienced class bonding. In this video here, you can see one of the boats. I can't remember which one it was. When they went into the rapids, they actually lost 2 students that went into the rapids. Pretty crazy, but you can see all the students did exactly what to do. One held onto the boat, the other one put his legs up, went down to the rapids, and the other one assisted them back in. It can get pretty crazy underwater. So in this video here, we have us following back into the water, and we have our whitewater rafting photo that we take every year, making those memorable experiences. The company that we go with is ARO Adventures. They have 3 different rafting trips that they take. So Black River Rafting is where we went. It's 14 and up, 14 sets of rapids. Moose River, which is for 18 and up, very wild rapids, very challenging. And then there's also the Hudson River, that's for 7 and up. And that would be for a little bit more calm of an environment. And anyone can go on these trips. So when we went on the 14th, the water level was 1,790 CFS, and that is cubic feet per second, which is a unit of measurement for the volume speed of water flow. So 1 cubic foot, just so you can get a reference, is the size of 1 basketball moving. And that's 1,800 is an average for this time of year. We've gone at different points depending on rain, so it can be a little bit higher. So the day structure, we arrived at Red Creek High School at 6:45 on the 14th. We departed at 9 a.m. We were equipped with helmets, life vests, paddles. Students were led to the river and given a safety workshop on equipment and what to expect. By 1 o'clock, students were finished with the rapids, and then we enjoyed a pizza lunch. We had a 52% attendance rate for this senior class, and the cost per student was $60. Here's just a quote from Henry Ford. Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. And now, let's hear it from our seniors that would like to talk.
Our instructor's name was Larry, and he told us that we could call him whatever we wanted. So we called him Captain Glitter Sparkles because he had a glittery helmet and he would dunk it in the water and like water his hair, and we just thought that was really funny. And that was like something with our boat that we joked around the whole time about.
So we ended up going like a lot of times down this one part, and that was actually the video where the people fell off like 4 or 5 times. I think it was, I don't know, it was fun. And then there were a couple times we went down like some bigger things in that, like almost like waterfalls, and I thought it was just, I enjoyed it a lot. It was just fun.
I think everybody was saying they'd definitely do it again.
Yeah.
It was definitely a lot of fun. At the end of it, they let me and another student take a paddle. The whole team signed the paddles. It was a pretty cool experience.
Do you have any questions?
What are you gonna do with the paddle?
I don't know. I'm hanging on my wall. It's pretty cool.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Nicole and some of those seniors, before you sit down, sorry, we have a new tradition we'd like to begin, and you guys are kind of the first group that we have. So we have some challenge coins that we are going to be handing out to people that present, that come to our board meetings and present. So I would like to offer the 4 of you and Mrs. Zeck one of our challenge coins.
It's a good thing. You don't have to be scared.
In recognition for taking the time out of your evenings and coming and sharing experiences with us. So I'd ask you to come back up and I'll give you your challenge coins. So.
Thank you.
Come on, Leroy, you gotta.
We'll trade you for the paddle.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Wallace.
So now,
Sir.
we have other people, Ryan Goodwin and Elena Zabowski. They're going to talk about some of our new electives, and they're going to talk about their experiences in classes so far. And we're doing classes for CCC and FLCC.
We don't do replacement coins, just so you know, whoever just got there.
Would you like to share your experiences so far?
Okay, I guess I'll go first. One of the electives I'm taking this year is my first period class, and it's music appreciation. It's basically music theory with a lot fancier of a name, but so far it's one of my favorite classes, and I've been enjoying it a lot because, well, I think a big reason that I like it is just because I've been in band forever and in chorus forever, and it's nice to be able to dive into what makes music good to your ears and why people actually like it. Because you can say a song's good, but usually there is a actual reason why it sounds good or stuff like that. And it's fun because we get to usually have projects after units where we pick a song we like and we have to dive into it or stuff like that. But it's nice to like kind of dive into that side of music and be able to sound like you're smart when you talk about it. And then in the second semester of the school year, I'm taking music history, which is it's just like the second half of the class really, and that's going to go more into, well, the history of music. But because I enjoy music, it's nice to have that class available, and the other people in my class seem to like it, so.
And another one of the electives that we both are taking is psychology, intro to psychology. And so far into the year, that's one of my favorite classes because it's something that I've always been interested in. It's what my mom did, my mom majored in. And it's one of my passionate subjects is learning how the brain works and how people react to different things. It's a small class, but I think that makes it better because you have more personal interactions with the teacher. You can ask the questions that you want to ask without being embarrassed in front of a group of people. Overall, I think it's not the hardest class in the world yet, but I'm having fun because I'm learning things that I want to learn, which is something that hasn't really been consistency throughout the school year, but I think you can say the same for a lot of other students.
Well, if I want to talk about psychology, I'd also just say that I like it a lot. I feel like, well, both of us were really, really looking forward to hopefully having it, and then when we learned that we had it, we were really excited. I'm just excited to see what will be in it later. Because so far it's kind of very like basic what we are doing, but as it goes, I'm excited because I feel all that I've heard is that it's supposed to be like the most useful thing I'll ever take. So I'm excited to see if that's true.
I think so.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Also, I want to let you know that we also have, besides the new electives, we also have the AP classes going at the same time. So they've got the availability to take all kinds of different classes and through the 2 different colleges and AP and get ready for their next adventure, the next chapter.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
It's actually out here. It's gonna be a piece of paper.
Yeah. I think, just to kind of piggyback on those new electives, I think the high school and Mrs. DeVinny have spent a lot of time looking for ways to put higher level, accelerated, advanced level classes in partnerships with some of the local colleges, as Mr. Wallace said. So it, as Ryan indicated, it gives our students opportunities to kind of customize their learning around things that they might be interested or excited about. So, these are college level classes. These students will be earning credits towards college in a number of these electives. So it's a good upgrade for us to be able to provide some of these things. And kudos to our teaching staff who have taken on the endeavors of working with these colleges and getting themselves acclimated with this as well. So it's a nice change for us this year.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming in. We're gonna keep going, so those of you that aren't staying, feel free to go.
Are we all staying for Governor Econ?
Oh, Mr. Clement, he's like upping our attendance rate by quite a bit, so tell him we said thank you. Okay, I will take a motion for C1, the regular meeting minutes for August 28th, please. Mr. Kaiser, and a second by Mrs. Allen. Any questions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, moving on. I would take all of the financial reports together. Could I have a motion, Mrs. Dingman, and a second by Mrs. Allen. Any questions on this group? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, moving on, the consent agenda. Please, as the board, I would take a motion for all, some. Mrs. Allen? E1 through 4, and a second by Mrs. Kaiser. Any questions on this group? When you're ready.
Mrs. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Joyce?
Yes.
Mrs. Dingman?
Yes.
Mrs. Kaiser?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Foltz?
Yes.
And Mrs. Madigan?
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving on, F, new business. Could I have a motion from, yes?
One of our people was here. I don't know if you want to congratulate her. One of the people we just pointed. Tanya.
Hi. I had a Curtis moment there, so I'm sorry. Congratulations. Excited, I know your married name now.
Sorry, you can still call me Curtis.
Oh,
Like mine, like I'm Curtis.
Okay, perfect, then I don't feel quite so dumb right now. Congratulations, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you, Mrs. Decker.
You're an F,
Take a
yeah.
motion from somebody for Mrs. Allen? Is it for all?
Yes.
Okay, so this would be F1 through 5, and a second by Mrs. Foltz. Any questions on this group?
I have a question on
Sure.
F1. Who is this contract with?
Yeah, this is a contract with an individual person who holds a psychology certification psychologist certification. She's registered to be a school psychologist, is just not working in that capacity at this point. So this would only be as needed. Right now, we have no projection to need it, but in the case, it's nice to have a backup plan. The psychologist provides all of our testing through our special education office, and there are certain guidelines and timelines that are necessary for us to meet. So having a backup person that would be able to come in and do those things would allow us, under bad situations, to maintain those timelines.
Any other questions? When you're ready.
Mrs. Foltz?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Kaiser?
Yes.
Mrs. Damon?
Yep.
Mr. Joyce?
Yes.
Mrs. Decker?
Yes.
And Mrs. Madigan?
Yes, thank you. Okay, administrative reports. Any questions?
No question, but just a comment on Mrs. Domini's report. I just thought it was a really amazing report, so thank you for all the information and all the great things that are going on.
I love the newsletter that you're doing, how you're highlighting those high-impact teaching practices. I also wonder if, and I'm sure individual teachers are, but it might be worth a communication out regarding that resource for parents when helping with homework. That's huge, speaking from experience, so, but I love it. It was great.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Norman, right, you're ready.
Yes, I also included in your packets an updated version of our strategic plan. We're on year 3 of 5 years for our strategic plan. If you recall, last year we referred back to our strategic plan several times throughout the course of the year. It's really our guiding work. It's been put in place for several years. Last year was kind of a catch-in year, tried to get ourselves in and organized and kind of reacclimated. We don't want this to really be a checklist. Unfortunately, it shows as a checklist, right? We want these to be embedded values and practices and not just something that we check off the list. There's always work to be done. This, the strategic plan finds its way into it's a standing agenda item in our administrative meetings that happen twice a month. It gives us an opportunity to focus our conversation and work around the big picture, long-range work that we're working on. Divides and conquer all the tasks that are in here as well. So some of the work in the summer, we will take a look at what was or what was not done last year, and we'll reassess where we stand. So some of the items in year 3 were things that may not have been completed or weren't embedded fully into our work systems from last year. So we'll carry those forward until we can are able to implement all of those things. It's great to have a paper copy to give us direction. Sometimes our best laid plans don't follow through that way, and this, just by making it public, by presenting it, keeps us accountable for the work that we need to move the district with. So just wanted to bring it back to your attention with the year 3 focus at the start of this year.
Thank you. Anything else?
I did have a couple updates that I wanted to just share out. We have, the start of the school year. We kicked off the start of the school year. It's always great to see kids and students and staff back in our halls, on our buses. Another exciting thing that we have coming up in a couple weeks is our homecoming week, Spirit Week. That is the week of September 30th through October 5th. We're going to be sending out communication again to all of our community around all the activities and the events that are taking place. It's always a great opportunity at the beginning of a school year to kind of get that spirit going. Students really get involved quite heavily with some of the activities. We've been having some committee meetings, and I think we are going to be implementing some positive changes to get even more pep and more spirit into our Spirit Week this year. both from the student side and the community side. So, our students work hard and deserve some of that recognition, and this will be a great opportunity at the beginning of the year to recognize them. So I wanted to draw everyone's attention to our homecoming week. Yesterday and today, I did want to draw attention. Yesterday and today, I've had to send out to our district messages around social media threats. It's in the news as well. This is not just a local Red Creek or Wayne County area. This is something that's going on across the state. I think the balancing act that we have right now is, though we have not received any credible threats against Red Creek, we need to remain vigilant that any possible information related to student safety still needs to be investigated. So if there is something that is circling around social media or out there in the public, we want to know about it, please share that information with the school. We will investigate it. We're working closely with local law enforcement as well. If they are not credible, the law enforcement is also trying to work down some of these threats that are schools are facing are not even local threats. They're generated threats from outside of the state, outside of the country sometimes. So that also requires an investigation and handling of that as well. So, it's a disruption, but it's important for us to make sure that our students are safe in our buildings. So we take those threats seriously. If you see something, we wanna know about them. So please continue to share that if they come in. And the last thing I wanted to share, I'm excited to share another new initiative that we're kind of kicking off tonight as well, and that's around faculty and staff recognition. So oftentimes we have so many very deserving faculty and staff members. And with the help of our communication committee, newly formed board committee, we have been really focusing around the ability to recognize some of our faculty and staff. So we're here to kick off what we're calling the Red Creek MVPs recognition program. So there is a link on our district website. We're going to be sending out information via Parent Square and social media starting tomorrow around the details of this. District employees will get an email as well. And it's really to highlight our awesome team members, teachers, administrators, support staff. Anybody inside the district or in the community can fill out our nomination form. We will receive those. It's a very quick Google form that people can leave their information in. They can list a person's name and why they should be receiving this recognition. Could be for anything personal, professional, something small, something somebody might have not noticed. And then we will recognize those folks at each of our board meetings upcoming by name. We'll send district communication out to them as a recognition as well. So I think it's just a really positive way to highlight some of the good, hardworking, dedicated people that we have doing good things. So, kudos to our board communications committee, Ms. Kaiser and Ms. Folds, who have been instrumental in getting the details worked out on this. So we will be kind of launching that now, and then tomorrow the community will receive that information. So I'm excited to share that positive with our community.
Thank you. Okay, committee updates isn't listed, but we're gonna go through them really quick. Just the communications, and do you want to say anything, or did Matt just steal your thunder? Okay.
Really well.
Yeah.
Covered all of it.
Anybody else want to share anything? I'm not going to go through them individually right now.
Just the policy committee has been meeting and reviewing the policies. We'll be seeing updates every month for board action.
Perfect. Thank you. We else on this?
PT had their first meeting of the year, and there was more people there than I think I've seen there ever in the past. So good, and
Great.
Sounds like we're headed in the right direction. So.
Wonderful. Anybody else on this end? Okay. All right, with nothing else, I would take a motion to move into executive for negotiations matter. Mrs. Dingman and a second by Mrs. Decker. Thank you very much. Mr. Decker, would you like to drop your coin one more time before we turn off the camera? I mean, I don't mind, so